Practical applications, follow up, and losing weight. That's what we're going to talk about today on LinkedIn Live. My name is Catherine Cantey. I am an executive coach and a podcast host of Business Vitality. On Business Vitality, the podcast, we talk a lot about practical applications. And today I thought it would be fantastic to be able to share an interview with the CEO and author, best-selling author, Dustin Bogle, on what he's doing to remain vital in business today. He shares a lot of practical applications. A lot of stuff just hits home, whether it applies in his business or it applies in your business or even somebody else's business. It is quality, practical applications, and that is what delivers results year over year, decade over decade for so many businesses. Please stay tuned. I want to be able to share a clip, a 15-minute clip from this past interview that we've had that's actually going to be posting soon. And just wanted to share a portion of it and can't wait to share it with you right now. So here we are, Dustin Bogle. Thanks so much.
Dustin Bogle, you are the CEO of Gym Reinforcements, found on the web at gymreinforcements.com. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I'm super excited to connect, Catherine. Let's do this.
I appreciate it. All right, Dustin, high level, what is Gym Reinforcements?
Yes, thank you for asking. It is a follow-up service for gym owners. We will do all of their outbound to their leads, whether they're new leads coming in on their ads or old leads that have been sitting in their database, to move them into a trial program so that they can grow their business and get more clients and members.
All right, so you just said something really key. The name of this podcast is Business Vitality, and these are like the best practices of like what keeps businesses going decade after decade. And you just talked about follow-up. I mean, do you know how few people are actually taking this and doing something with it? And how long have you just always been a huge follow-up person, or what happened for you to just want to create this?
I think that the source of energy where you tap into your follow-up is your conviction. I think if you are really excited to get your product or service into someone's hand, you won't look at follow-up as an annoyance. You will look at it as, I must do this. I need to get the word out. And I think what holds a lot of small businesses back from growing is their conviction starts to wane. It starts to get distilled. They start to lose their excitement for their own product or service. And I get it, because you've just been beaten down by hard times, an employee, just the day-to-day grind, or you just, years of doing the same thing over and over. Maybe boredom's even settling in. And so sometimes you need to re-fall in love with your own product or service. And one of the best ways to do that is to read customer reviews. Go into your Google, go into your Facebook, go to the review section and read how you've changed people's lives. If you sell things on Amazon, go read the reviews, and it will almost re-spark your love for what you do if you feel like that's you when you hear me say that. So number one, get more convicted. Now, when you go do follow-up, you won't feel annoyed that you're bothering people. But we've all heard this saying in business, right? The fortune's in the follow-up. Yes, you do need to reach out to people more. We, in our system, in the way we do things, we're reaching out to you twice a day in your first week, because we're so determined to change your life. We know when you get healthy and fit, it will just be a ripple effect that will change everything in your life. And it did for me, it does for our customers. And that's why we're so excited to reach out to these people. But yes, most businesses need more help and follow-up. Last thing I'll just say on this, Catherine, we're putting a pool in our house, and I called 5 pool companies. The first 3 never called me back to this day. And this was like 3 months ago when I did this reach out. The 4th called me back, but then when I called them, I missed it. When I called them back, they got me back to me a week later. And then the 5th was at my house later that afternoon. And that's who got the job, right? So all 5 of them probably could have been equivalent in their skills, but the person with the best follow-up won the business. So I see it in all industries. This is not just something for gyms. Everybody can improve follow-up.
I totally agree with you. And it sounds like you found this opportunity in your business to create this follow-up process because it was a need that you saw yourself, and then you realized probably the rest of the market needs. Can you talk about that? Because I think that's really where the gold starts, is we pay attention to what our pains are and solve for it, and even take it further and figure out how do we figure out what we've done and then be able to share it with others. Talk about that a little bit, because that's creating long-term business success in my opinion.
Yeah, and you're right. I'm an action taking machine. So I'm like this tornado, and I'd make a mess, and then my team would clean it up, and we'd have more clients, and the business was growing. And I was just like, okay, I gotta calm this tornado down. I gotta write down what exactly I do. And I noticed I had a habit of going into 3 buckets, and that's in my book. I actually call it the Fortune follow-up system. I teach everything. You don't have to hire us. I literally teach it to you. But if you do want done for you, you can always reach out to us. But if you're ready to do it yourself, I outline it all. So basically those 3 buckets are your brand new leads. So if you're running, say, digital ads, marketing on Facebook, etc., that's your first bucket, is brand new leads, fresh, just opted in the last week. Then you got your contact database. This is where your big mother list that you've grown since you've opened doors of your business. It's probably thousands of contacts. And so I would, hit that list as well. And then the third is past customers, because they say the best way to find new business is old business. And so they already know your prices, they know where you're located, they know what your whole thing is. They don't need the sales pitch. Usually they just need some sort of cool offer or entry point to get back into the business. And so those are your 3 main buckets you can go dipping into at any time. And most people just hit number 1 over and over, like our new leads, our new leads, our new leads, forget about all their old leads, and they forget about their old customers and never make them an offer. And so that's kind of what when I sat down, I looked at it, I said, this is kind of my whole routine that I go through every day. And so I that was, the first part of the Fortune follow-up system. The second part that I'm happy to share with your audience, Catherine, is like, what exactly do I do for each of those buckets, right? So I have a system for each one. For the brand new leads, we do what's called a 5x2 follow-up system. So that's 5x2. And so this 5x2 is for the first 5 days, we reach out to you twice a day. But here's the important part. A lot of people use the same media channel. We change it with every reach out. So it's text, call, email, social media DM. You can even do a video message, but change it, because different strokes for different folks. People who are in the professional world, again, a lot of C-suite, they're probably going to be more email responsive. And you talk to a young kid and they're going to want to talk on DMs or text. And then, you got an older population, they're going to want to get on a phone call and they want to ask a lot of questions. Everybody has different preferences in how they communicate. So make sure you have a nice spread on your follow-up. So that would be for your brand new leads. Now your prospects, it's probably, again, going to be a big list. So what we do is we do a 10% a day blast. So if I have 5,000 contacts, I'm just going to cut out 500 of them. And I'm just going to do a check-in message. I could send them a free PDF or value, lead magnet. I could just plug a podcast episode, but just something to keep them warm and engaged. And that's a great way to kind of go about it, because you don't want to send the whole list something every day. It can really start to get them annoyed, and then you might not be able to manage all the replies that come in if your list is really big. And the third one is your past customers. We just have it on a quarterly cycle. Again, that's what we found works good for us in fitness. But each one, we change the theme or the offer or the reason why. And one of the best lessons I could pass to somebody in terms of like creating an offer or marketing is there's always got to be a story behind why you're doing it. So is the reason for the sale because it's our 4-year anniversary being in business? Great. That's why. Let's call it that. That's the whole campaign name. Is it to get ready for summer, which is very easy for us to do in fitness? Is it because it is Mother's Day is coming up? So that's why I run this Mother's Day sale, but a reason why, right? And so one of the best ones we've done was called the Baby Come Back campaign. We were running a 90s theme workout in the gym. And so we just thought of this clever marketing campaign. We had this boy with like a white tank top and jeans, and he just looked like a pretty boy, and he's crying and he's got his arm reached out, and it was called Baby Come Back. And we were sending it to our past members saying, we miss you, baby, come back. And we're like, come back, reactivate your membership. We want you here for our 90s theme workout. And we're going to play boy band songs and have fun. And so that was one of the most successful campaigns. What was the reason why? Just because we decided to do a 90s theme workout and a 90s boy band theme, imagery on the text and emails that went out. And so that's it. It's just like, those are your 3 buckets. and then find a cadence that works for them. Again, 5x2 heavy on new, 10% a day for your main contact list. And then for us, quarterly to past members is enough that we're not going to burn them and make them upset and say, leave me alone. So that's the Fortune follow-up system in a nutshell, Catherine.
Okay, I love it because it works, because you're doing this. And even when I started my career in banking 25 years ago, we had the 2-2-2 process for follow-up, the 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months, who would follow up with new clients. And what you're talking about, the 5x2, like this stuff has been around, but what you're doing is you're tailoring it to fit the needs of your customer. And that's how businesses are able to redefine what it is. And you're tying it back into the follow-up process, which you just use that great example with the pool example, which is, it's horrible to hear that these companies are not following up, and the business is literally sitting in front of us. And all we have to do is be intentional with our follow-up and our conversation.
Yes.
So do you want to, it looked like you had something to say. I don't mean to cut you off. You get
Oh,
excited
no,
about it.
I'm loving this. So yeah, we can move on. You're good.
Okay, so tell me, you've got, when you talked about, I'm just curious, you talked about text, DM, phone calls, all these different ways of being able to reach out. Are you able to capture that at the front end? And then is it just a huge management resource that you're providing to do that? What does that look like?
Yes. So again, the tools we use are a little bit more built for the fitness industry, but I know Go High Level is a great one that could go across all industries. One of our favorite tools is called Fit Pro Tracker, but again, it is a fitness example, and they allow you to do a text and then a follow-up task, but you can identify what you want the follow-up task. So we could say, now write them an email with this, script, or now film a video message and send them, a video message and mention that and call out their name. So we're able to build out these automations, even though it's manual tasks. It just prompts the salesperson to do it. And so guys, you don't even got to get super technical and have this. The early years when I did this, it was literally a spreadsheet. The names came in, name, phone number, and email. And then each section of the 5x2 was a column that the person just had to check the box on. And inside that cell, I wrote the script, and that was the basic, the poor man's version of the 5x2. So like Google Sheets are still a great thing. Don't get too high and mighty and make your software stack super expensive and complicated. Keep it simple, right?
I think that's what some of the best businesses are doing. They just boil it back down to what are the key items that we need to do to deliver home. Just like you can look at in the fitness industry and you can see what those key items are that we got to do to deliver results. You're doing this in the business. And, for you to get down, to keep it simple, to teach others, like, can you talk about delegation? Has it always just come to you very easily, or how did you finally realize today's the day I got to get some of this off my desk? What was that like?
Yeah, at first, I'm sure every entrepreneur can agree, like at first, no, because you're scared to death that they're going to do not as good of a job as you are. And I think the way I heard it said that allowed me to kind of feel good about it and release it was that the person will probably never do it as good as you because, like you're the entrepreneur, your back's against the wall, your name and reputation's on the line. But if you can find someone that will do it 80% as good as you, that's good enough, because the customer will more than likely not notice a difference. You will, absolutely, because you are the detail person and you're going to freak out about it, but the customer won't. And so I've decided to try it out, and lo and behold, they didn't. There was no like long line of cancellations. There was no like business burning down. And so then I switched from scared to excited. Then I was like, now I want to be a delegation machine, and I love delegating. I basically once a month we'll go through my task list and look for what's got to go. And I love getting stuff off my plate because I know, number one, I'm protecting my energy. I'd say it's the biggest thing to share with everybody. For you to be in the long game here, you have to manage your state and you have to manage your energy, right? And so the energy is going to come down usually to the tasks you're doing. Like, the energy will come from you doing things you love or you hate, or you fill up your day with a bunch of stuff you hate. It's going to feel pretty normal to start saying words like burned out. tired. Like I'm not loving my business anymore. No, you do. You just put too many of the wrong tasks on your plate. You will probably fall back in love with your business if you did all the stuff that you love to do in your business, right? So take off those things that you hate. And the other part of it is obviously going to be your health. I'm obviously in the fitness industry, so it's going to come naturally for me. But I've just seen it with so many entrepreneurs when they drop pounds of fat. I feel like pounds on your body is literally pounds in your head. And so like you're just walking around with all this extra weight, whatever you got, 10, 20, 30 pounds of extra weight is extra baggage in your head. And it's like better than any pill you can pop or drug or whatever supplement. When you lose the weight, just people telling me the clarity I feel, oh my God, I have so much more energy. I'm so much more focused. And it's just because they dropped some pounds. So take care of your health and that, energy, and protect yourself from energy draining activities, and delegate, and elevate. That's the way to go for sure.
Love that. So let's take a fitness kind of break here. I want you to, because I feel that same feeling that you're just talking about. If you do, weights go up and down over the years. And when I know I reduce the weight a little bit, it physically feels better. Like it feels lighter. There's that clarity that you're talking about. And there's so many of us that are like, oh, if we could just lose that, 10 pounds, I would be in a different mindset. And mindsets are so big right now, and they always have been, but it just continues to be one of those things that we need to address. So if you've got somebody and you're the expert at this, they want to lose some weight, like where do they even get started? Like it's easy to go join a gym, but that joining a gym does not equal you just lost 10 pounds. We can attest to that. Where do you start?
Thank you for listening to a snippet of our podcast interview of Business Vitality. I am the host. My name is Catherine Cantey. I'm also an executive coach. I love to be able to pay it forward to other people and be able to share business best practices. There's no need in making things harder than we have to. And I think Dustin does a great job just sharing some practical applications. The reason that we need to follow up, which we all need, but sometimes we just need to remember. And he's going to share a few tips and tricks on losing weight. So it doesn't really have to be too hard. We can overcomplicate things, or we can make things simple. So thanks for being here. If you're curious, you want to learn more, please visit my website, catherinecantey.com. Or if you want to schedule a call, you can schedule a call there. Or if you want to send me a message through LinkedIn, I'm always happy to respond and learn what is working in your world. If you have any questions, concerns, you want to explore more of this work, you think it might be practical to be able to explore it with your business, I would love to hear from you. Please reach out to me and maybe we can help. Thanks so much for being here.